Hey, what's up guys, it's Brainbean here again. Thanks for joining me for this quick setup tour video. Now, I have had some of you guys ask me what I have in my PC or what kind of case am I using. And you guys have been seeing this setup here behind me in just about every video I've done for the last few months. So I wanted to take some time to kind of give you guys the tour before, like I said in my last update video, I am going to be moving here in about a month. And I wanted to take the time to show you this current setup so that you can see what I've been using before I move to the new place and get a different setup going. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and just take a look at the setup. So just taking a look at the whole setup overall, obviously I chose to go with a purple and white color theme. These are two of my favorite colors, so naturally that's just what I gravitated towards when choosing colors for the setup. I didn't want to overdo the colors so much, so rather than have everything be really colorful, I chose to just have accents that kind of give a pop of color here and there. You can see this represented in the acoustic foam and also the LED lights that I have mounted behind and underneath my desk. And I really like having that strip under the desk because it really creates a nice underglow effect and kind of gives you a little bit more atmospheric sense when you're gaming or doing video editing. That's just something that I really like. Looking around the desk, I like to keep a couple of key switch testers handy just for reference when doing reviews. And they're also just fun to click around on sometimes. You can also see that I have my Overwatch loot box that I 3D printed and painted, and I use that to hold various knickknacks like keycap pullers and cable ties. Now taking a look at the PC, currently I'm using an i5 4690K processor that's being cooled by a Thermaltake Water 3.0 360mm radiator, which does an excellent job keeping those CPU temps down. I have 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM, an Asus GTX 970 Strix graphics card, and all of this sits on an Asus Z97AR motherboard. All of these components are sitting inside a Thermaltake View 27 case, which I really like because the nice large window wraps around the top of the case as well, so you get a really good view of all the components that you have inside. And using some of those Thermaltake Ring RGB fans and an LED light strip really helps the setup pop and come alive. For my peripherals, I'm currently using a Razer Black Widow Chroma V2 with yellow switches, a Razer Death Adder Elite, and a Razer Firefly mousepad. I also use a wireless Xbox 360 controller for certain games like Rocket League, and my peripherals do tend to change very often since I'm constantly testing products for reviews, but for now, these are my current daily drivers. For my audio, I use a pair of JBL LSR305 studio monitors that run off a PreSonus AudioBox 44 VSL interface. I use a pair of Audio-Technica AT2020 mics, which are great condensers for a lot of different applications. I use one for my voiceovers that I keep mounted on the desk, and I also have a separate one that I use for when I'm live on camera. For my headsets, I mainly use a pair of Audio-Technica AT-HM20X monitor headphones for editing and for music. Now, my monitors are probably the most dated part of my setup. I'm currently using a 24-inch LG IPS 236 and some other Dell 24-inch monitor that I got years ago. And the last thing as part of the PC setup that we're going to take a look at is my Thermaltake GT Fit gaming chair. I really find this chair to be incredibly comfortable. It offers great lumbar support, and for my body type and size personally, it hugs me into the seat really well. Now just taking a quick look around the room, directly behind my desk setup, you'll notice I have my other desk behind me, and that's probably something that you guys are very familiar with. This is where I do all of my B-roll shooting for my reviews. I use a small Asus laptop that I keep underneath the desk with a USB hub to power all the peripherals, and I'm also running an RGB light strip on there to just kind of give a little bit of backlighting and add a little bit more dynamic lighting to the reviews. Now directly to the right of this desk, you'll see my 3D printing area. This is where I use my FlashForge Creator Pro 3D printer, and I keep a couple of rolls of filament on some spools up there so that I can easily switch out different colors depending on what projects I'm working on. Now another little theme that I do have going on in my setup is because I am a massive fan of the band Andcambria. I have a lot of their stuff kind of sprinkled around the office as well. Located directly above the review bench, you'll see I have a huge banner of theirs. It's one of my absolute favorite things that I have in the office. I also have a set list that I grabbed off the stage at one of their shows, and I have a custom made vinyl decal that sits right there on my case. And lastly, just taking a look at the ceiling, you can see there is a plethora of acoustic foam up there. That's because audio quality is incredibly important to me, and I like to make sure that there's no distracting echo in any of my videos. Well, that's it for the setup tour, guys. Obviously, there are some parts of my setup that definitely aren't as good as they could be. I'm still really happy with it. And with getting more and more serious with YouTube, I've chosen to invest a lot of my money into upgrading the viewing experience for you guys in ways of better audio equipment and getting a new camera and things like that. So of course the setup could definitely be better if I had invested that money towards the PC, but then your viewing experience wouldn't be nearly as good as it has been. So that's kind of where my priorities have been, but there will be a new PC setup coming pretty soon, and I will be bringing you guys a build video series kind of showing you the new setup and as I get things going. That's definitely a little bit ways in the future, but that's something that you guys can look forward to. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it to show your support, and be sure to click that subscribe button if you are new here, because I've got a lot more content coming your way in the near future. You can also follow me on Twitter at Brainbean Gaming to stay up to date with what's going on with the channel. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.